Hey everyone, welcome or welcome back. Today we're doing a double. I'm taking this boring and basic desk and attempting to give it an elevated look with two simple changes. And I'm not only doing one, but two. So double down with me and let's get started. Just to give you guys an idea of what I've been up to, I'm relocating my son into another bedroom and turning his room into a guest room / office area for my husband and I. So of course, I'm taking the opportunity to redecorate both rooms and make them more functional for our needs. For this space, I need two desks that are identical, and I'm going with a modern vintage aesthetic. With all the other design elements going on, I need them to be the same to keep it cohesive. After lots of looking on Facebook Marketplace and at every visit to the thrift store, I ended up with these two. Not the design style I had been searching for, but they're both the same and the dimensions are exactly what I needed for the new floor plan. So I'm gonna add some paint and possibly new hardware to give it a vintage look. The first thing I do with any furniture flip is a good cleaning, but I did not record that part, so we're jumping right into the rest of the prep. I'm removing the hardware and drawers and taping off the drawer glides. Next, I'm scuff sanding everything, and this is a question I get asked often. What grit is best for scuff sanding? That's actually determined by the surface you're working with. The purpose of scuff sanding is to add a little grit or scratch to the surface to help your paint stick. I generally use between 180 and 220, with 180 being for surfaces that are harder and shinier. Although I took out the drawers on the shelf, you don't have to do that. You can tape it off right inside the unit and work with it like that. I prefer doing it this way because I like getting up close and personal with each piece to make sure I'm prepping it properly. Here I'm switching to a Surf Prep sanding sponge to get into those curves and grooves. Okay, it's time to prime. This is the Bin Synthetic Shellac Primer. Zinsser has two bin primers, the regular shellac and this synthetic shellac primer. The difference is this one is water-based. And because it is, I'm using my sprayer. It works just as good, but without that toxic smell. I've used this on quite a few pieces and it works really well. I'm priming primarily for the benefit of adhesion. I'm not concerned with any bleed through on this piece, but I do want the best adhesion possible. This is going to get a lot of use. I do everything at my desk, eat, drink, everything, and for a lot of hours every day. And so with good preparation, you're gonna have a piece that's gonna last you for years. This is the next day and I'm lightly sanding just to knock off any dust or specks on the surface. Up until this point, I had been going back and forth on whether I should keep the existing hardware, but I just kept thinking it needed something old to give it that vintage feel. So I went through my stash and found these that I had removed from a previous project, and I really think these are perfect for the look I'm going for. They're authentically old and weathered looking. I'm just going to apply a little bit of a mix of antique gold and Spanish copper to freshen it up a bit.
I have walked through the darkest valley. I was lost, couldn't find my way. But then I heard him from within, he who died for my sins. He spoke my name, then I saw his face. Yes, I've seen his eternal glory. I felt his hand when I was astray. I never knew until then what his love truly meant. I was lost, but now I'm found by his grace.
With that decision made, I went back and filled all the holes in the drawers using this Minwax wood filler. I really love this stuff. It starts out pink and turns into a tan color once it's dried. The next day, I sanded it smooth and got started with my first coat of General Finishes Lamp Black on everything.
The burning flame within my soul, the fire in my heart. He is my joy, he is my song. He is right when all is wrong. He's my savior and the light in the dark. Oh, I know I'm on a long and arduous journey. It is a narrow and a winding path, but he is always there through hope and despair. And when I'm lost, I'm always found by his grace, by his grace, by his grace. I've been saved by.
This is the next day, and before I add additional coats, I like getting the holes drilled. That way, if it gets a little scratched up from handling it, it'll get fixed. This is a few days later and I'm ready to add protection. I'm using General Finishes High Performance Top Coat in a satin finish. Now this is the first time I'm actually going with a straight up satin finish. I usually don't like much of a sheen, so I would mix 50-50 flat with satin. But high sheen means better protection, and I honestly know how much I'm going to abuse this desk, so I'm willing to give up what I like, add a little more sheen to give this desk the best protection. Just want to share a couple of tips when doing your top coat. With General Finishes High Performance Top Coat, you don't want to do more than 3 coats. Doing more than that does not give you more protection and may cause the product to fail. Also, don't be afraid of that white or milky look. It dries clear, I promise. it's highly likely you will get runs like this. Your hand is not a machine, so because of inconsistent movement, you may linger on certain spots and then this happens. But don't attempt to wipe it off. Just leave it, and when it's dried, you can lightly sand it off. And make sure you do a light sanding between your first and second coat. I know this is scary to look at because the surface looks all scratched up, but it does give you a much smoother finish. I hope you enjoyed watching this quick and easy furniture flip. A little paint and some old hardware. I'm really happy with the way these turned out, but I am considering adding some gold gilding wax to the edges just to zhuzh it up a little bit. What do you guys think? Let me know in the comments if you think I should add it or not. Remember, this is part of my guest bedroom office area makeover, so you don't want to miss seeing this all come together. Make sure you're subscribed, and once you do, you'll see a little bell right next to where it says subscribed. Hit that bell and select all. That way you're notified every time I upload a new video. Let's take a look at what these desks look like before and after.